Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Six Rings Kane Show on a new night, Monday night now, baby. We're really excited, actually, to have Eric McLean on the show here, college football analyst, co-host of The Huddle. Coach, yes! All right!
First touchdown of the year.
Miami Hurricanes, yeah. You know the name already. It's Mercy. Ha ha. It's a six-ring Kane show. Can't forget the name though. Got Jazz, Blue, Vision, DJ, break the game code. Ain't no changing them, ain't no breaking them. Real Portland live from the Hard Rock Stadium. Ball 14 for the orange and green. We see the six-ring champs. Let's more than a dream. This is life on the field. Beyond 100 yards, a hurricane that's never still put a damage to your squad.
What's wrong with us? Seriously.
What's wrong with us? We're Miami Hurricanes fans.
Welcome to the Six Rings Kane Show, a show dedicated to Miami Hurricane sports, featuring the legendary Larry Bluestein, Jazz Santana, Vish, and Danny Gillette. Let's go Canes.
Buenas noches, todo el mundo. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Six Rings Kane Show. It's been a long... Listen. Vish knows it has been a very long weekend. I still feel like I'm recovering, and you know, I'm trying. I'm trying hard, man. So if you hear me go off and say some crazy stuff every once in a while, just bear with me. It's
Did we hear FSU's not going to the baseball?
Oh,
That's a great place to start.
That's a perfect way to start, man. We've seen it a couple times on the baseball show. So, FSU is eliminated from ACC play, and they will not be going to the postseason at all. Take that.
Yeah, not even the ACC tournament. They can't even qualify for that. Yep.
First time in 43 years?
44.
44.
They tied our streak.
Okay. 44 years.
But they came up short. And when our streak ended, we were actually the last team out of the NCAA tournament because they do the last four out, and FSU is one of the worst teams in the country. So get close.
So theirs is worse. All right.
They ironically they had a nepotism hire in Mike Martin Jr. They fired him, and the whole thing imploded. So be careful what you wish for there.
Yeah, true.
And we got to listen. We got to shout out. Here we go, DJ. Once again, DJ, you ready? You ready for the Eastern Conference Finals, Daddy?
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm ready. I am definitely ready. I've been listening to everybody talk all week, and Blue left, so he doesn't even want to talk about this, but that's okay.
Oh, what happened to Blue there?
I don't know. He's not backstage. I didn't do it. He's not backstage. Okay, he's back. Hold on. He's back. I didn't do it.
No, geez, what happened?
I don't know, Blue. Maybe you were a Knicks fan or something. You don't want to hear basketball talk.
No, I'm not.
Aren't you a Lakers fan, Blue?
Yeah.
Okay. So
all right, so you're still in it.
We could potentially see you in the NBA Finals if we get past Miami.
I saw this. This is a really interesting little thing that I saw that I think is pretty cool. I think I know my answer. I don't want to say it, but it said, here are the top two players out of the remaining teams that are going to the conference finals, right? Mm-hmm. Who would you pick, right? The first one was LeBron and Anthony Davis. Second one was Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Third one was Butler and Bam. And the fourth one was Jokic and Jamal Murray. So who would you pick, Blue?
Whew.
Putting you on the spot. Who are you picking?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Realistically.
Those are pretty good groups there.
Right? All of them. Who are you picking, DJ?
Tatum and Brown. I got to.
Terrible.
Okay.
Bam likes to disappear.
Honestly,
Bam likes to disappear.
You're not being honest. I never said I was going to pick the Heat. I wasn't going to pick
I'm just saying.
It's got to be LeBron Anthony Davis.
It's got to be LeBron
Anthony Davis. What happened?
What are we even talking about right now?
I mean, I would hear an argument for Lonnie Walker and Bruce Mount, some kind of crossover. But other than that,
if you switch out
basketball
put Lonnie Walker in,
I don't want to be a homer here, so.
I mean, the homer for you, Blue, is the right answer. I think. What are we talking about here?
Can I just say this for a quick second?
Oh, no.
Thank you. Thank you, Miami Dolphins, for taking Isaiah Wynn. We greatly appreciate it here in New England.
Yeah. Whatever.
You didn't like him? That's the only Georgia guy that didn't go to Philadelphia, I think.
Absolute garbage. He was a walking holding penalty on every single drive. I can't wait till he holds 57 times against New England in week 2 and stalls.
He ain't going to start. Come on.
He's going to get Tua killed if he starts, so I hope he doesn't start for you guys. But anyway, thank you guys.
He's a Florida-bred high school.
You'll still look like 10, you bum. All right. Anyway, let's talk to Miami.
What's happened to this show?
Man,
God, Melissa's infected the whole network.
Yes, she did. She put a virus into it.
It's gonna be a fun matchup. Both conference finals is gonna be
absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about as Vish put it earlier today on Twitter. Mario kind of cleaning house again. Look, you can't really talk about what Mario is not doing in the transfer portal. You can't. Nobody can sit here in their right mind. And I was thinking about this, right? And kind of say, well, Mario hasn't. I mean, we need defensive tackles. Why isn't he going after? We need cornerbacks. We need a wide receiver. We need this. We need that. Mario went when you needed an offensive lineman. What did Mario do? He got you Javion Cohen. He got you Matt Lee. And he's probably still going to get you a couple more guys there. You needed a defensive tackle. We're thin at defensive tackle. Anthony, well, before even today or this weekend, he got you Branson Dean. He got you Thomas Core, who's, obviously there's still some question marks there with those guys. I get it. Branson Dean, good guy, could potentially start, right? Purdue guy, big kid, 6'3", 6'4", 280, 290 pounds. Okay.
At the worst, he adds depth. So
at the worst. Now, you also bring in Anthony Campbell, who's 6'7", 285 pounds at the defensive tackle position. Another big-time player, right? Good kid coming out of the transfer portal. May not be that 5-star prospect that everybody wants, but it's also May, and we're talking about the transfer portal. He got a hell of a player in Anthony Campbell, which obviously I want to get your take on, Blue. Okay, so he did that at defensive tackle. You wanted him to do something at linebacker, got you Francisco Mauigoa. You wanted him to do something at defensive back, he got you 75 defensive backs in the transfer portal. He got you Terry Roberts. He got you Devontae Brown. He got you Jadaeus Richard. He got you Jalen Davis, the kid from Oklahoma. I mean, he got you all of those guys. He's probably going to get you that kid Andre Sam. I think that's his name, the kid from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Okay. He's probably going to get that safety over here. I mean, I'm thinking just because of his ties, and now he's in the portal. Okay. So we're talking about all of that. Then now you're talking about, well, we need somebody at wide receiver. Well, he got you Shamar Kirk now, right? He just landed you Shamar Kirk today. We need a running back. From DJ's mouth, a stud running back, obviously with some injuries, right? DJ, AJ Allen, whatever his first name is. Yeah. Another kid, he just got you that kid to add depth at the very least.
Don't forget about Tyler Harrell, too, at wide receiver.
Oh, I'm sorry. He got you Tyler Harrell, who runs apparently, according to his coach, is a 4.19.
Fast. He is fast.
You want to talk about taking the top off of a defense? I mean, Blue, at this point, Mario's done what he's needed to do in the transfer portal to fill some holes. Now, he's probably going to get a couple more guys. Now we just got to develop the talent. We got to win some football games.
Yeah, well, I could say this. I mean, here we sit on May 15th, and last May 15th, the roster that we had paled to what we got now. I looked at both rosters, and I said last year it was from a depth standpoint, from a frontline starting standpoint, it was one of the worst rosters Miami's ever had. I mean, it played out. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, if people want to judge on what Mario Cristobal has done and this staff has done in just 1 year, just look at compare the rosters. I mean, the rosters that they have here, I mean, proof at linebacker. Bring in Mauigoa and take your leading tackle of the last 2 years and make him, an odd man out in the start. Yeah, and potentially in the secondary, they get so much better. Yeah, you lose 2 guys to the NFL, but what are you going to do? But I thought the spring unveiled some really good play out of the kid Brown who transferred in or portaled in. And also I was impressed with Darryl Porter Jr. And I was talking to his dad about former Boston College, Danny, defensive back, and also played in the NFL with the Colts and the Dolphins. And he said that he's seen a lot of things that he liked about him. Because he was critical of the way he played it sometimes last year. So I think he got, I just think he really improved. In the offensive line, forget it. You got two guys right now, arguably, that are going to be top 3 round picks. I think that Lee is, a good center, a real good center in the NFL is a tough commodity. And you get him, and then you got Javion Cohen. And last year they were having pipe dreams about Zion Nelson. I don't know. I just never got it with him. When all of a sudden you heard about, hey, listen, Zion's going in the first round. What? This guy was just a okay player the year before, and now he's going in the first round. I just think he's regressed, and he's got a lot of making up to do, because he'll get passed by. There's other guys in here that are hungrier, and you could see Mirabal, what he's done. I take nothing away from Garin Justice, because I like Garin Justice, good dude. But Mirabal just means business, and he knows technique, and his track record of, guys that he's put into the NFL. And yeah, I just think the team guys, if you, on paper, and we aren't playing paper, but on paper, it's night and day over last year. There's a lot of places. At quarterback position, you're basically, last year you had Jake as a backup, and you figure, but you really don't have, that's why I think that Miami may, even if it's a junior kid that has some experience, just bring him in, because it's just really tough. But let's hope that Van Dyke doesn't get hurt and, goes throughout the whole season. You look at every position on the field, and they've improved, and wide receiver too, because I was highly critical of Jacoby George last year. I thought he had a really good spring. Kobe Young came in, did some really good things, and I think and then slot wise, they're potentially next year at this time could potentially have the deepest slot positions in the country.
That slot wide receiver could be
because exciting. We know now that Xavier Restrepo really could play for any team in the country. May not start, but he would play for any team in the country because he's a gamer. He makes plays, and every coach likes that. But you got Brashard Smith, you got Ray, you got Bobby Washington if he's going to play the position. He's got a lot of different positions, but you have more versatility than last year. And I just think, guys, it's just such a better roster. And if you're a Hurricane fan, you got to feel better. It may not be a 9-3 year, but whatever it is, it'll set the table for a 9-3 year the year after.
Vish, are you excited about the wide receiver additions with Tyler Harrell and Shamar Kirk? How do you feel about the wide receiver room as a whole now? I'm all for it. I love the fact that you added speed, but you also added a guy, Shamar Kirk, 6'1", 6'2", almost 200 pounds as well, who can go get the football.
Yeah, no, and we just need playmakers. Like, there was no playmaking last year, not of the receivers, and really not of the running backs either. There was a lot of solid play, but nothing to take the top off the defense. And I think we've kind of, especially with Harrell, but I think across the board, as Blue said, upgrade the talent there. And yeah, receiver, there's multiple weapons now you can go to, and it's gonna be a test for Van Dyke to get them the ball and make sure that we're able to exploit that. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to throw on most teams in the ACC. The other thing Blue had mentioned, Zion Nelson. I think Todd McShay called him a top 10 pick, and that was the end of it. Now it's top 10 picks, and we're all that have watched. I feel bad for him almost, because those of us that watched him play, he's not there yet. And maybe McShay was projecting a lot of upside and development, but he had never shown that ability. And I think it unfairly kind of saddled him with that, that weight around his neck. If this guy's a top 10 pick, he should lock everyone down. He hadn't even played enough to do that. I think that kind of hurt him a little bit. And then he obviously got injured, but I still think there's a really good player in there, but the hype was just ridiculous. So I think that hurt him. But I think the reason he's going to be key is, you mentioned the receivers, Jazz, got to get time to throw the ball. I think, I don't know how many sacks there would have been in the spring game if it wasn't, if it wasn't too I think Van Dyke would have gotten hit a lot. And Blue mentioned Jakari Brown's the backup, and I think we'll ride with him if we have to, if Van Dyke gets injured. But he's such a different style of quarterback that it's just, you almost have to change the entire offense then. So, which is something that happened last year. So it's just, we got to keep him healthy, and if the offensive line can block, and it should be much improved, these receivers can torch ACC defenses. So to answer your question a roundabout way, I'm really excited for this group. I think they're able to get open. After a decade, maybe they can catch the ball finally. So get open, catch the ball. It's that simple of a game. But as long as the line, I think we all agree Van Dyke can throw an accurate pass. So it is kind of just, all right, get him time. So he's got, his foot space too to get the ball out. These kids will get open. So this looks to be a much better position than we were in last year.
Yeah. I still remember last year sitting next to Jazz in the opening game, and Miami wasn't doing anything. And we looked at each other. We go, oh, my gosh, not again. I don't think that's going to be the deal this year. I think they're going to, if they don't click every darn play, they're going to be more successful than they are not this year.
Yeah, I think the first warning sign last year was the Southern Miss game, because the Bethune-Cookman's not really an opponent. And then, that first half, it was a slog. I think we scored at the end of the half to kind of finally go up 10-7. Like this, we should be thinking about putting the backups in already, not fighting Southern Miss like this. And I think that was probably the first worst. Yeah.
That it was going to be an issue. But
the following game, then you knew.
Unfortunately, I traveled to that to watch us not score a touchdown. I went to 3 games last year where we didn't score a touchdown. It's quite a record.
That was rough. DJ, I kind of want to get your take on the defensive side of the football. Adding a guy like Anthony Campbell, who's a big defensive tackle. Again, another position that we definitely needed to add a little more depth. And look, and I don't want to say that there isn't talent in that room, because there could very well be some really good talent, right? As I mentioned before, Branson Dean and Thomas Gore, but you also got guys coming back like Jared Harrison Hunt. You've got potential in a really good defensive tackle, Ahmad Moten, coming in, and then we haven't even mentioned potentially the best one out of all of them is Josh Horton, the kid out of Georgia. It was a Georgia, right? Kid out of Georgia. It was 6'4", all of 6'4", 300 pounds as well. He can dunk a basketball. He can dunk a basketball with ease, and that's an athletic kid that's going to come in and play defensive tackle. So now you add another one, a 6'7", 285, 6'7", 295 pound defensive tackle. This kind of reminds me of. What do we say? What has Vish kind of said a lot? Blue mentioned having a big team, a team that looks physically imposing, that's going to be able to push you around. It looks like this is what Mario's doing at the defensive side of football and the offensive side. How do you feel about bringing in a guy like Anthony Campbell?
Oh, go ahead, DJ. I'll get into it after you go.
Yeah, it's a great move because you want space eaters at the defensive tackle position, especially if you're in the red zone defensively, if you're trying to stop a drive or if you're trying to stop a rushing attack, you need space eaters at the defensive tackle position. And, I think the defensive tackle position in itself kind of goes overlooked when talking about a defense. We focus on pass rushing and, corners and, defending the pass, but stopping the run is equally as important, and getting space eaters that can allow you to kind of make an offense one-dimensional and take away something that they do best is extremely important. And, getting, a big offensive tackle in Campbell, defensive tackle in Campbell, and, things like that definitely, helps solidify the position, and it doesn't allow for too much of a drop-off if, a certain player needs a breather or something like that. So the more depth as a position that you have, the better, because I think it's a crucial position that, can, make that goal line stand at the end of a game that you really need to make, for instance.
Yeah, Blue, what you want to add to that?
Well, the thing about Campbell is he could have been a major kid coming out. He had out of Bartow High School in Florida, but he had a couple of things that needed work, and I don't think anybody wanted to take a chance. But he's the type of guy that you would watch him in high school or watch him at camps and say, you know what, if he ever gets to his potential, well, he got to his potential. And I think he comes down here. He's a lot more polished than when he left the state of Florida. He's bigger and he's stronger and he's got more maturity to him. And I think that here's a kid that gets an opportunity to get in action this summer. And he starts opening some eyes. I mean, look in the spring game. Bain, who really virtually shouldn't even graduated, had 3 sacks. And here, I mean, that just shows you when a true freshman is taking this, defense to another level potentially. You get a Campbell kid that comes in and you got experience. I think Harrison Hunt's going to be a freak once he gets more reps. And then Leonard Taylor, I mean, I think interior front, because I already think we already have some pretty good edge rushers, guys with a lot of potential. It's just we have to be patient on some of these young kids. I mean, that's the one thing. Yeah, everybody around the country will always keep pointing out. Yeah, but you got this 5-star and you got that 5-star. Yeah, but you know what? 5 stars aren't always ready. I mean, they're potentially going to be good, but you can't rely. And I still bring back the Tracy Howard, Duke Johnson days. Neither of them really should have been starting, but they were thrust into a position where they had to be the dudes at 18 years old, 17 years old. And I think Miami's better equipped now that you don't have to insert a freshman out of need. If you insert a freshman, it's because they played better, like Amawagoa played better at the position than some of the veteran kids. So, yeah, I think we're at that level now that if young kids come in, they're going to play because they've earned it, not just because they need them.
Vish, anything you want to add to? Here's what I will say really quick before I go to you, Vish. You know what I like about Campbell also is, and DJ, you kind of touched on this a little bit, is the size and gap fill. He fills space, but not only that, but now you got, even if it's a 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" quarterback trying to throw over a guy that's 6'7" that now puts his hands up like this. Now you got to throw over that guy. You're talking about having to really put the ball in the money and really have to get it out quick. So I love that about that pickup.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's that, he's definitely a defensive tackle that's going to eat space in the middle, and we haven't had a lot of that. And Blue mentioned Harrison Hunt. He's been high on potential for a while, but we've kind of had to move him around too much because he's trying to plug gaps around the line. I don't think he's ever really settled into a position where he's been able to be consistent. So I think this will help him a ton, because Campbell should be like basically plugging his butt in the middle of the line of scrimmage and allowing Leonard Taylor to make more plays and allowing, just eat that space up. Because as Blue meant, we already have Mesidor on the outside. Like, we have all this. We have other guys that'll benefit from having like a true spacing defensive tackle, which we haven't had. I'm trying to think of the last time we even had one of those. So it just makes the whole defense work better. It allows the linebackers to run freer because they're not the linemen aren't getting to the second level. Like you mentioned, a lot of the quick passing they got to throw around him now instead of over him. So like it's disruptive, and we have not been disruptive for a long time. So it's exciting to kind of see some and to think about the potential. But as Blue said, cautious. It's going to take some time for it to come together. Next season is not going to be pretty again. Let's just be blunt about that. But it's building blocks, right? It's building blocks to get where we want to go. So you can see kind of that starting to come together. And the other thing that's encouraging to see is, we got both of these. We got coaches with Louisiana ties, and we are going in there and doing a really good job of pulling kids out of there, which is something we did in the past, which we have not done lately. So that's a talent-rich state. So getting that pipeline going has been really encouraging to see over the last few months, as we have now ties to because we had coaches coming out of there, ties to the local schools there. They're able to go in there and pull kids. And that's going to be a huge payoff, not just this year, but down the road as well. Being able to go and recruit in Louisiana, which has a ton of talent, and not everyone wants to and is going to go to LSU. And the rest of that, the rest of those kids are up for grabs, and we really have not done a good job of pulling those kids in like we used to. So it's good to see that kind of coming back now as we're able to do a lot more of that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let's talk about back. I'm sorry. I almost got
Mac Daddy.
Mag Daddy. Real talk though. Vish mentioned the wide receivers. DJ did a little bit as well. Blue, your thoughts on number one, the hometown kid Tyler Harrell coming back down here. After playing well at Louisville, but then of course, had an injury, didn't really get things going in Alabama. But look, the fastest guy on this team once he gets here, if he's healthy, he could really be a dangerous weapon for this team, for this offense. Talk to me a little bit about Tyler Harrell, and then you can kind of just chime in on Shamar Kirk as well. But I really like the addition of Tyler Harrell to come in for special teams purposes, and of course to be able to open up this offense a little bit.
No, good point. Because he's got an opportunity to spread the defense up a little bit and maybe take the top off of it. And whether he catches the ball or not, or whether it's effective or not, you're sending a message that you got a dude with some speed. And I think it opens up for your tight end passing game. I think it opens up for wheel routes with your running backs and also your slot people who are going to be paired most likely on safeties. So, I think having him, I thought because of what the job Rambo did the year before, it opened up Harley in a way that he hadn't been, in a long time. So there's a lot of residuals when you bring one person in because while they don't necessarily change a team, they change a scheme. And and that's what I look at because having him on the outside and most likely drawing, unless Colby Young just turns it on to the point where he gets the number one defensive back. But I think Colby Young doesn't have anywhere near the speed that Harrell has, and you have Harrell, and I think that I think he's going to be effective, or not just on a long ball, but get him in the space a little bit and then let him use his speed. And I think that Ray's the same type of guy. You got to, these guys may not be able to read, or play against veteran defensive backs that the ACC has. And they have a lot of them. I think what they could do is create. And, and then they get, because nobody's going to respect a freshman, I don't care how good they are. Or a first-year guy, you got to prove something, just like, jazz and baseball, you get a pitcher and he said, well, he throws 95. Yeah, well, a lot of people can hit fastballs. Do you have anything else to go with it? And that's what I'm saying. I think that anybody can be fast, but he's got to be effective too. But yeah, I like him. And Kirk, the same thing. The thing about Kirk is his experience factor. You cut through all those being a freshman type of high school kid, and you bring in a guy who's a proven commodity. And the trouble with that sometimes is that we blow them up so much that if they don't live up to those expectations, they automatically suck. But that's not necessarily true. Kids need time to adjust. Game of football is a team game, and everybody plays off of one another. I think those two guys right there, in the long run, make a huge difference because that's a position of need. And because I think that your two receivers going in, because remember, you still have Ladson, and he still hasn't even reached anywhere near what he's capable of doing. And if he doesn't, then he'll be riding the bench the rest of the year. That's all. You got to produce. This is a time where nothing is going to be given to you. And Redding too, I kind of almost have given up on him. But there's a kid right there when he first got there, and I'll tell you the honest truth, I thought he would be the premier guy because I watched him in high school. Smart kid, gets it done in the classroom, runs really good patterns. But the objective of being a receiver is to catch the ball. And if you don't do that, you're not you're not giving yourself an opportunity. But I think that Miami's got, potential at so many positions, running back, defensive line, offensive line. All they got to do is just come to fruition, and these guys play the way that they can. And I think adding those 2 receivers, veteran guys, will also help with the younger guys. The younger guys are going to start emulating a lot of things they do because they're 18 and 17, and Harold's 21 and 22. And so I think there's a difference about bringing in kids like that in a positive way.
Sure, I agree.
And when you look at Houston's offense from last year, they had 3 receivers, headlined, of course, by Nathaniel Dell, that had over 500 receiving yards. So it's not exactly, although Dell was the main target, there was room, to spread the ball around at Houston. And with this, depth that Miami has added at wide receiver, that gives Dawson more opportunity to, have more weapons to run that, same type of offense in which you can get, good production from multiple receivers in multiple parts of the field.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I've learned one thing, DJ. I don't want to listen to what the guy did the previous year, because all we heard about Lastly is, they threw to the tight end 90 times.
And Gaddis too.
Gaddis too. Yeah, so let's see what he does with the personnel that he has, and if he has tendencies are to do what you said, okay, I like that, but I don't want to say, well, he threw there last year, because you may not have those type of guys.
A lot of that'll be on Van Dyke too, getting the ball to if he has had the tendency in his career to really have the guys he's comfortable throwing to and even force the ball there. Now he's got the arm strength to get away with it, but it was all Rambo and Harley, and then last year it was Restrepo, and then he got hurt, and then it was Colby Young, and then Van Dyke got hurt. But it was kind of like once he's got he tends to kind of force feed the ball there. So it'll be interesting to see if he can use these weapons. Again, it's part of him also. He wants to be an NFL quarterback, and he's got the arm talent to do that. Yeah. So part of it is showing he can make the right reads, get the ball to the right players, and there should be enough receiving talent, both at receiver and tight end, DJ, to exploit.
There's that tight end message right there.
Yeah, there's the tight end.
I'll die on the tight end hill. I don't care.
Yeah, but Bish, you made a great point. But add in also that he's going to have better protection too. And, I think that's going to afford him a little bit more time to kind of read and, go to a second and third read. So, unlike last year, he had to get that ball off quick.
Yeah, and it's his third offense in 3 years. So it's a lot to put on him. And, if he can come out and play well, I think it'll probably impress a lot of the NFL scouts if he's able to do that, because it's not easy to pick up a different. Yep, that is the remnants of Jazz's birthday party from the weekend, which we survived-ish.
We survived.
Yeah, we made it through.
We did.
The big 4-0 for our man here. So
yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oof. I'd give anything to be back there.
Oh man,
I didn't feel like it's Saturday. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Is this what I have to look forward to at 40?
Yeah. Going out one night and then recovering.
Oh God, yeah. It was Friday night was fun. Saturday, the whole day, and probably into Sunday was
not so much.
Not so much. Yeah.
I already don't bounce back as fast as my college days. So if this is our 40s, you guys are scaring me a little bit.
Oh, be very afraid. Be afraid, my friend. Be very afraid.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, but definitely blessed to do it all. So for sure. I wanted to get into Max Anderson a little bit.
You mean Lawrence?
Max Lawrence. Excuse me, Max.
Yeah,
Lawrence.
Melissa wants to hear about.
I thought you had work.
I know, right?
Yeah. What the heck? What are you doing?
Holy crap! We got an Evans sighting.
They're going to fire you for going on at work.
What's up, Evan?
We got Evan sighting on the football show, man. What?
Nice, man.
Must have got a schedule change this week because he's usually.
All right.
Well, good to see you, man.
I like it.
All right, Max Lawrence is the kid's name. That's the kid's name.
Max Lawrence. They added a walk-on quarterback.
Yeah, as a walk-on quarterback that committed over the weekend.
he'll come in and he'll do some scout team work and he'll help these guys kind of get ready. He kind of reminds me of you remember the kid Blue out of Westminster, Fernandez was his name, I think. That came here to play quarterback also.
No, the guy was with the Mets. Man,
Big kid. He was like 6'4", 6'5", big kid, quarterback. I can't. Adrian Fernandez.
I know who you're talking
I think
about.
his first name. Adrian.
David. He played third base with the
No,
Mets.
you're thinking David Thompson.
Oh, it wasn't David Thompson?
No,
There was a guy that came here from Westminster.
Yeah, Fernandez was his last name.
Really?
Yeah, Adrian, I think Fernandez was his name. But
Okay.
yeah, just a guy that comes in and
Oh yeah, I was thinking of David Thompson.
yeah, so David Thompson, I think would have definitely he could have been a
Oh yeah, he could have been.
backup quarterback here.
Yeah, I ran into him. I went to a AA game.
Oh, cool.
And I saw him. Yeah, he was playing third base. He just got bypassed. I mean, he good dude. And didn't he have the home run record for the University of Miami? Pat Burrell face. I think he broke Pat Burrell's record.
I think so. I think.
Yeah, I think he's the all-time leading home run hitter in University of Miami history.
Vish,
Unbelievable. Well, I know he is the Florida high school all-time leading home run hitter.
I honestly don't.
You might be
know
the
for
second
sure.
on that one. I have no idea. But
Yeah,
I
I don't know. He was the best hitter on the last team that went to Omaha. So
Yeah,
hands down. Yeah. It was
so
I
that's,
thought Dennis Rabin would be the guy.
oh yeah,
that is a throwback name.
That's
Wow,
a name
Dennis
right
Raven.
Woo,
He's good.
that team was good.
We're just a DJ
He's
sitting
good
there while we
pitcher.
list random baseball players for like.
Who was the shortstop on that team? Was it Ryan Jackson?
Yes, it was Ryan.
Ryan
Jackson.
Jackson and Jamal
Right.
Weeks, right? Jamal Weeks was the
Yeah,
second
Jamal
baseman.
Weeks, Yonder was there.
Oh my God!
Yasmani
You talk
Grandal.
about reaching in the bag.
What a team, man.
We blew it, man. That would hurt. That would have really hurt. We
Who played the
rolled
outfield?
everyone.
Rayburn was out there, right? Dennis Rayburn.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Blake
Yeah.
Takoti was the
Blake
center
Takoti.
fielder. That was
Blake
just
Cody.
that was just
Another
yeah.
stud. Man, that was.
Oh man, no, we blew that first game in the College World Series. We had the game won and we made an error, and Georgia stole the game from us, and we couldn't play out of the losers bracket. We just didn't have the pitching depth to win.
Georgia ended up going to.
Yeah, they ended up losing the World Series to Fresno State, who was like a 4-seed. I mean, we were by far the best team that year. We made
Just
an
had
error.
no pitching.
Yeah,
Who was
Carlos
it?
Gutierrez
Carlos
airmailed it.
Gutierrez, right?
Yeah, he airmailed the ball to first. It was the first error he made the entire year.
And who he was? Wasn't his brother the closer, David Gutierrez?
Yes.
No, Carlos was the
2008.
closer, and David pitched the second game. We knocked Florida State out, so we had that going for us. But then we lost the.
Good times.
Anyway, yes,
Wow.
yeah, Melissa, that was 2008. Ugh.
We'll save that for baseball show, huh?
Well, we just
I
did
gotta
the
pop
baseball
in
show. so-
on the baseball
Oh.
show.
Yeah, you
Talk-
do. Yeah, you do, Blue.
Talk about some of the old guys.
Also, if you want to, we're all going to the game on Thursday, Blue. If you want to,
Yeah,
you are?
yeah, against Duke.
we had that kid,
Oh.
that fireballer, man. He was a stud. The kid out of Chicago, Chris Carlos. What was his name? Jesus. I can't for the life of me remember his name now. He was a flamethrower. Threw hard.
I wish I could help you guys.
He got drafted that year too. Was it that year? He was on that team. I gotta say, he was from Chicago.
The Miami kids just don't do very well in the in professional baseball these days.
I mean, Ryan Braun did.
Well, Ryan, yeah, and Pat
Well,
Burrell for a
Braun.
minute.
Pat Burrell, Danny Graves did okay. You know,
Well, back in the day, like Neil Heaton and those guys, they were really, really
Ray
good. But
Bird, Charles Johnson.
yeah.
They were throwing all.
Didn't Mike Piazza play a game here?
Mike
or something?
Piazza
did.
He played like one game at Miami. Still
We can
counts.
blame him.
Still
What the
counts,
hell?
still
Why
counts.
not? Let's play
Found
him.
out the Italian food sucked in South Florida, so we left.
He played one game for the Marlins and one game for the Hurricanes. That's
Yes.
Look, Melissa, we're not here to cast aspersions and point fingers.
Melissa, stop it with that.
And trust me,
Actually, he's
you-
one of the only Jewish players that Miami ever had that did good.
Ryan Braun.
Well,
really?
Melissa's sympathetic to that plight, but yeah, we don't want to pick the PD scabs. Let's just leave it there.
Zach
'cause I think
Zach Collins is the one that I thought.
Zach
was
Collins is good. He's still around on his 19th teams, but
I know, man. He's
good guy though. Really
John
good.
Jay. What was
yeah,
that?
John Jay, Danny
Oh, John
Valencia.
Jay,
Danny
yeah.
Valencia played like a decade in the
Yeah,
pros,
Danny
and
Valencia.
He's actually- he actually
Sanavania
called-
and
Danny Valencia called our game last weekend. Not
did.
the one at Dewey. He's really good in the booth.
Yeah, he is. I
Well,
like
Ouijo
Yeah.
Hernandez didn't do very well, huh?
We
What about
just
Gabby Sanchez called the game this weekend also.
yeah.
What about my guy Harold? What's his name from Braddock?
Harold Martinez?
I know. Thank you, Melissa, for allowing me. She knows I'm gonna have to like cut the stuff now for the podcast, but thanks.
Harold Martinez hit like 24 bombs that 1 year. Then the next year they switched to bats. He hit 3.
Yeah,
Well,
Nike
yeah.
gave us defective bats.
Yeah.
But
That's
I'm not
actually a
going to
true
come down
story.
because he could be listening. So
No, it wasn't your
No.
fault, Harold. It wasn't your fault.
No, it was Nike actually gave us defective bats, and it wasn't. There was like a study on every team that got Nike because that was the first year I think they were doing bats.
Right.
The production just went in the toilet to the
Yeah.
point that Nike actually was like, you can like after 2 years of that, like you can use whatever bats you want. They actually let everyone out of the bat contracts because the bats were defective. So that hurt, yeah.
We definitely went on
back
the
to
tangent there.
football.
Yeah. Back to football.
Back to football and Max Lawrence. We just wanted to avoid, doing a quarterback evaluation.
That's
here.
fine. Really quick. I'll throw these names.
Oh wow, wow.
Blue, I want to throw these other names at you, man.
Go ahead, throw him.
3 names that I want to throw at you. Tell me what you think about the possibility of Miami flipping one of these guys. Ellis Robinson, Mylan Graham, or Jordan Lyle.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Ellis, definitely. It'd be a good get. He's real friendly with a lot of the Margoas. And yeah, he's a guy that I like to see. I think that he could. Who are the other? Jordan Lyle?
Jordan Lyle, Mylan Graham.
I had Jordan on my show tonight.
Yeah.
He seems pretty locked in to go in Ohio State, but you never know. I mean, it depends with where Stacey Gage ends up.
True.
That's his running mate at St. Thomas.
I know
Because he had hinted he was going to go to Ohio State too.
Oof, can you imagine? Jesus.
No. And then who was the other?
Mylan Graham.
Oh,
Wide receiver. He was down here visiting.
yeah. No, he had a good time too, from what I understand. But I think Ellis Robinson would be the dude. I like him.
That would be huge.
Great. Yeah, that'd be huge. I think that he's really good. I think that, and he enjoyed himself down here. And the reason why is because he knew some people. And
Right.
yeah, I think Juwan Johnson committed to LSU. But she's like the answer woman. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, man. She's our Chat GPT. What is it? Yeah. That's what she is over there.
I hate to see her pop in when she doesn't work. I mean, if this is at work, oh my gosh, I'm going to get you fired.
Justin Scott is another name. We'll talk about defensive tackles. That's a kid that could cement himself as the key piece to this, to kind of get everything started for this recruiting class. 5-star kid could come in, one of the top ranked players in the country. Justice Thomas would be a huge pickup, Blue. I think that's the kind of kid that we need. It's kind of like in that Leonard Taylor mold, right? Like he's another Leonard Taylor type.
Good comparison. No management. Yeah, you got that working pretty good.
Just hope this doesn't get too popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Everybody start recognizing her.
Yeah, she's so popular with her co-workers. To answer your question, yes, he would be really, really good. But you gotta. I think what they're doing now is they're selling a lot of these kids on availability to play. Saying, hey, listen, there's not all the positions are locked up. We still have some. A lot of guys were injured during the spring, so they come in same as you. With a lot to prove. And I've seen what can happen in a 3-week period in August. These hot days, and all of a sudden someone's not performing, and next thing you know, they move down the depth chart. I could see that happening with a few of these guys. So, yeah, I'd love to see him from a depth standpoint. Definitely.
We got a lot of things going on, and I think things are going to start to heat up again now soon with the moves that Mario's making on the recruiting trail. And you've got Kevin Beard out there balling, getting 2 stud wide receivers as well, and Tyler Harrell and Shamar Kirk. So stay tuned and keep watching us. Yeah, that's another. Ashton Hampton has an official visit with Miami locked in, so that's awesome. it's going to keep going. And it's going to get exciting. You're going to see a lot of names pop up soon. You're going to see a lot of things go down when it comes to recruiting, transfer portal. So
FSU lost 5 of them to Colorado.
All 5, I know.
Only
crazy.
2 played, but I mean, what the heck?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
3 of those will probably transfer right back out.
Yeah, I know. There's still
right.
a few more months before the season starts for those kids to show up, talk to Dion for 5 minutes, and leave. So
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
As soon as
Anyway,
they couldn't wear white socks, that was it. I mean,
that was it. White Sox with their Yeezy Crocs.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys keep it locked here. Wednesday night we've got a hit. Well, no, we don't.
no, we don't.
Wednesday night we have nothing as of right now. We're gonna take a nice little break. Actually, I could use it. Shout out to PrizePicks.com.
Oh yes.
Before we
Sure.
go,
They still paying?
Let's talk about our sponsor. I mean, hopefully, hopefully,
Someone's getting paid.
Yeah, right.
have some money to dish out. Check them out. Check out PrizePicks.com. You just got to go to the website. Go to PrizePicks.com. When you log in, enter the code 5 FIVE, and they'll match your initial deposit up to $100. It's real simple. Pick anywhere between 2 players and 5, 6, however many players you want. Anything over 2. Pick the over/under on their individual categories and win some money, man. It's real simple. We'll start throwing out some plays that myself and Vish and the rest of the crew will have out there for college football coming up after the summer, but also maybe some Major League Baseball stuff and other things. You guys can go in there and pick and choose any sport, really, baseball, basketball, football, Formula One, even. You can do it all. So make sure you check them out. Go to PrizePicks.com. Enter code word FIVE when you sign up, and they will match your initial deposit up to $100. Check them out. It's PrizePicks.com. If you don't hear from us, you'll have the Bucket Show coming up soon, right?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, you got Buckets tomorrow, which will be really cool. You guys check them out. Check Mel, Matty Ice.
New intro. Matt is still on his honeymoon through Switzerland. Is the last we saw.
Yeah, he's not
so he won't be here. He will be back on the show.
But he's part of the crew, so
yeah, no, he'll definitely. He's an equal co-host to the two of us. He just has bad timing with his wedding.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Who told him to get married, man?
I know.
Unbelievable.
I know. He needs to be like completely no life like Melissa and I, that we can just fully commit.
Right. Exactly. Check him out tomorrow at what time? 7 p.m.
I think 6. I don't know. We gotta figure it out.
They'll tweet something out.
I think 6 is the idea. We're talking about maybe doing it in person. I don't know. I'm in Miami.
I got to pop in and harass Melissa.
Yeah, Vish is in Miami too, so
Yeah.
Blue, maybe you join us on Thursday for the Duke Miami baseball game.
Yeah, maybe I'll come out.
Get out there.
There's a couple of jamborees, but maybe I could do without it. I just noticed that Vish has got a different background.
Yeah, he's in Miami. He's in Miami right now.
Because Danny and I are usually the only ones with ceiling fans. So
I think, are you gonna go see Max Lawrence playing this jamboree?
Get out of here! Didn't he graduate already?
I don't know. Who the hell knows?
Well, he must. Well, I think he's a senior, right? I think this is
starting quarterback.
Yeah,
in 2 years. I'll see you guys later. We'll keep in touch. Adios.
The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rings Kane Show. You know.